Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode here of the Nitro Racing League on Xbox One for NASCAR Heat 4. Today we start the second round of the playoffs here in the Nitro Racing League. We have actually won the last two races, I should mention. We won at, I think it was, Chicago or something like that, or some other track, and then we went and actually won last week at the Charlotte Roval, which you guys could not see, unfortunately, but I did win that race as well. So we've won two races in a row. We go into this round of the playoffs. There you see the grid going into this race. We are P1 here in the playoff grid right now, 39 points above the cut line. So if we just have some solid races, we'll be in good shape. And we qualified P4 here for Texas for the first race of the second round of the playoffs. In my opinion, Texas, a track I do not enjoy in NASCAR personally, so I was not sure what to expect here, going for, like I said, though, trying to get 3 wins in a row potentially here if we can pull it off today in Texas as we come to turns 1 and 2 on this opening lap. Like I said, though, starting P4, so my confidence was definitely high because, I mean, we've, I think, won races from starting further back, or qualifying worse, I should say, now as we push Combat down into turns 3, and then behind us right the 37 of Christian. They're giving us a nice little shove down into the corner as well. There you see our teammate of RJ on the inside of the 19, and then we had Andrew in the 9 getting to the inside of us, as well as there was the 18 of Bryce and the 20 of Matt getting side by side for the lead there. As you saw, the 88 actually got on the wall, and then I got a piece of it, and that pushed me up the track, and the 37 was able to get to my inside, go 3 wide here as we came through out of turn 2. So dropping down to P7 here in the first few laps, but I would be able to get down to the bottom lane in front of Jay as I went down into turns 3, and that would be a big advantage to myself. The inside lane is a massive advantage at Texas. We would get back to the inside of the 88. Andrew, though, was actually able to get back clear of me as we went down into turn 3, so he would get down on that bottom lane. But just either way, being on this bottom was such an advantage. Like I said, we were just moving our way back forwards towards a top 5 position at this point here. As it was actually our 3 JGR teammates running 1, 2, 3 at this point with Bryce, RJ, and Matt. And then here we were down in P5 right now, or at least battling for P5 with the 37 of Christian, which we would be able to get the position from him on the exit of turns 2. Then sure enough, as we came through on lap 7, Matt had fallen down a little bit, and so did RJ, and we would now move up into P3. We came through on lap 8 as we went down into turns 3, and we actually ended up getting our first caution of the day here from an incident in towards the back of the field. So either way, we would line up for the restart here in P3 on lap 10. I forgot to mention, actually, the laps for this race. So this is a 130 lap race. Stage 1 ends when we hit lap 31. Stage 2 ends when we hit lap 61, and the race ends when we hit lap 131. So the final stage, very long here today in Texas, so we're in for a long haul towards that end of that race now as we go down into turns 3. So this stage here, we got 20 laps to go currently, as the 9 of Andrew is going to make a move up the inside of Bryce for the lead as we exit turn 4 here on this opening lap, since the restarters were going to follow through as well on the bottom. I wanted to maybe let Bryce in at this point, but I just decided to take the opportunity here as we went down into turns 1 to try and get that second position as we came through out of turns 2. Sure enough, we would be able to carry the momentum and edge ourselves in front of the 18. But then Bryce on lap 18, he would fight back to my inside as we went down towards turns 3. So we drop back down into the 3rd position there. You see behind us Matt in the 4th place. As we're going to look to the outside of the 18 has come down this front straightaway. Just over 10 to go here in the stage at this point as we went down into turns 1. Though on lap 24 is the 88 who had gotten up into P4, and then he would get to my inside as Matt, our teammate, looked like he had fallen off a little bit here. Now as we have less than 10 laps to go in stage 1, a bit of a mistake on my part through the exit of turns 2. So Combat gets to my inside, takes over P3. So it's Hendrick Motorsports and JGR in that top 4. Bryce would get back to the inside of Andrew, take the lead back away. The 88 got a little bit loose out of turns 2. He decides he's going to actually let me have the position there as we went down into turns 3. Now with just a handful of laps to go in stage 2, the 9 and the 18 look like they may have come together. The 9 gets into the wall. He goes crashing behind. The green flag would actually stay out as we go through turns 3 side by side with the 88. He clips the apron. We both come together. We move up the track as we exit turns 4, and now we try to carry the momentum, and we actually do get the position, though, on the exit of the corner. Only a few laps to go on the stage. At this point, we come through now to the white flag of the stage. We had actually been able to get to Bryce's back bumper, but it's so hard to pass at a track like this here when the leader holds the bottom. As we come through out of turns 2, you see both the fuel and the tire light have come on at this point as we go down the back straightaway for the final time. Bryce goes defensive as we go down into turns 3. We're about a half a car length behind him as we're going to try and carry the momentum on the higher lane as we come through out of turns 4. Not going to be enough though as we exit the corner. The 18 of Bryce is going to come through to win stage 1. We come through to get P2 here in the stage. So at least very solid points for us here. 4 points to be exact here. That will be setting us up very well here in this second round of the playoffs. But we would come to the pit lane for 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires, and get right back into the action here for the start of the second stage in Texas. Not the greatest launch off the restart for myself. I think that was my first restart on the front row, so I wasn't really surprised as we come through now turns 1 and turns 2. I was a little bit concerned, obviously, being on this outside lane, but thankfully Jay either let me in or just couldn't quite get to my inside, so I was able to get down in front of him as he went down towards turns 3 here on this opening lap of stage 2. Now we come through to a few laps later on lap 36. We had actually made our way to the inside of the 88 of Combat as we went down this backstretch, trying to get back into a podium position here of P3, and sure enough, we would take P3 as we went down into the corner. Jay just behind me, obviously an affiliate teammate. He was up into P4. Then you see the 18 of Bryce and the 20 of Matt. They were starting to get into it for the lead here a little bit. I actually let the 20 in, but we come through on lap 38. I actually got to the inside of the 20s. We went down the back straightaway. So now as we go down towards turn 3, we will be up into P2. Christian was actually up into the mix at this point. His position's kind of like 4th on back. We're always just kind of switching around right now as we came through right up towards the back of Bryce on lap 39. Now a lap later, we trying to put the pressure on him as we go to the inside of him for the lead as we go down into turn 3 on lap 39. Keep in mind, stage 2 ends when we hit lap 61. So just over 20 to go at this point here in stage 2. We got 4 points in that first stage. Bryce obviously won stage 1, got a playoff point, which will help him out very well if he makes it into the next round of the playoffs. But we take the lead here on lap 42. Then they went crashing behind us, so that would end up bringing out a caution as we went down towards the turns 1. So we would obviously come to the pit lane for 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires, and we had some little team stuff potentially going on in the restart because the outside is such a disadvantage that I win the race off the pit lane, so I decided to actually take the outside for the restart. We actually had to go at the line for this one because we were waiting for a car to catch up, but either way, I choose the outside to help my teammate of the 20 of Matt be able to get on the inside without obviously losing a bunch of positions. So we drop down in front of him. There you see the 24 of Outbreak on the outside there as we come through turns 1 and 2. So we would lead down the backstretch. We come through on lap 46 here. Karma is going to actually look up my inside as we come through turns 3 and turn 4 as we're going to fight for this front position. Jay and P3, it looks like just behind us now as we exit turns 4 side by side for the lead with our team owner and teammate of Matt. Now as we go down towards turns 1, a little bit over 10 laps to go here in stage 2 at this point, hoping that we can get the stage victory as we come through the center of the corner. Not going to give up, and I was actually surprised by how well I was able to hold up, but then we hit the outside wall, and now we're going to fall down to P3, then P4, but thankfully I'm able to get down in behind the 88 of Combat. Bryce just behind me on my back bumper as we come through the center of the corner. And out of turn 4, nearly getting into that left rear of the 88, and then Jay is going to actually get to the inside of the 20, and then the 18 gets to the inside of me there, as I left just enough space, and everyone's obviously just going for anything they can get there. As the 95 and the 20 kind of come together, they slide up the track. The 88 of Combat is going to go to the inside, and now he is going to take the lead as we're going to go now back down to the inside as soon as I got the opportunity to get to the inside of my teammate of Matt. As we went down into turns 3, we come through the center of the corner, getting into the back there of the 18 just a little bit now as we exit turns 4. The 37 is going to get to my left rear now as we're having some pretty spectacular racing all of a sudden here in the later stages of this second stage as we go down towards turns 1. Andrew in the mix. Then we actually go to the inside of Jay, who goes a little bit wide. He seems to be dealing with a tight car at this point. Now as we come through though out of turns 4, heading down the front straightaway on lap 50 at this point. The 37 just in front of us. They're going 3 wide there with the 9, the 88, the 37, the 88, the 9 come together there as we go down into turns 1. So much going on in this short period of time, and that was allowing the 18 of Bryce, who had actually gotten the lead out of all of that, to start to drive away a little bit here as we're pushing now Matt down the back stretch as we go down towards turn 3. Everything at this point was just crazy as we come through the center of the corner of the inside of the 88 of Combat again. Now as we exit turns 4, then the 37 is going to get to my right rear. The 9, he's down towards the grass, and now we're going to push the 20 to the inside of the 9 as we go down towards turns 1, 3 wide. There was contact behind the 88 into the outside wall, and it looks like they may have kept it all straight somehow as we come through the center of the corner, but just a disaster. But then we would end up getting a caution, so yeah, they did not end up crashing. So this would set us up for a late stage 2 restart after that mess right there. That was certainly some intense racing. We would restart in P2 here, and then I would actually have a terrible restart, and the 18 would be able to get down in front of me. Bryce was the control car on the restart though, so obviously he had full control over when he went, and then I just completely mistimed it. Obviously the goal was to let him in though. I just got off a lot worse than I was hoping. But either way, less than 10 laps to go at this point here in stage 2. We come through though to just 2 laps to go, coming to the white flag actually in stage 2 because it was just me and Bryce that drove away. So now we come through turns 3. I was trying to put the pressure on the 18 here for the stage victory, but as we came through out of turns 4 heading down this front stretch at the white, 18 leads the way here as we go down towards turns 1, but knowing that it's just so hard to pass when the leader can hold the bottom. So I was just looking for maybe an opportunity. I backed up my entrance there through turns 1, hoping that I could get an incredible exit, but you can just see a little bobble of the car slowed my momentum down just a little bit. We look to the inside, we go back to the outside as we go down towards turns 3, and as we come through turns 3 and turns 4, I already know that if Bryce doesn't screw up the exit of turns 4, he will win the stage. Sure enough, he gets through it pretty good. He goes a little bit wide, allows me to at least try to get to the inside as we come to the line. Bryce wins stage 1, and now he comes through to win the second stage, setting us up well here though for the third and final stages. We get P2 in both of the stages now as we would get ready to come into the pit lane here at the end of stage 2. Here's where things get interesting. I get hit from behind from the 9, then I get hit into the 18 of Bryce obviously, and both of us in the top 3, or all 3 of us are in the top 3, ended up getting speeding penalties. So now here we are for the start of the third and final stage down here in what, P8 or so. So now all of a sudden we're in a bit of a mess as we go down towards turns 1. We haven't been down this far in the order all day long, so I was a little bit concerned to see how hard it was going to be to work our way through the field, but I was still at least confident that we could move our way back forwards. Here's around the outside of Justin in the 1 car as we come through turns 3, and you can already see what a mess this is about to be as we come through the center of the corner. The 88 on my outside, the 48 on the inside. We're 3 wide up the middle, some contact or something, cars getting loose as we just kind of carry through with the momentum. Then there's a little bit of contact with the 12. I don't think he was aware that I was down there, or we were 3 wide, so now we make contact there with the 1. After that, he goes into the outside wall with somebody. There's cars crashing behind. I thought there was a caution. No, there was no caution. So we keep it green here as we came through now on lap 64 out of turns 4. We get back to the inside of the 12 and get back past him as we went down this front straightaway with Jay once again up there in the mix for the lead, but somehow we climb back up into P4 here as we go down towards turns 1 on lap 67. We would get hit there behind from the 24 just a tad bit as we look up the inside of Jay though as we exit turns 2 here in P3. Now as we came through though on lap 68, the 88 is going to get to the inside of the 20 of Matt as we exit turns 4, trying to carry the momentum as well as we're going to look to the inside of Matt and try to work way up to P2. Some stuff going on behind as we hit lap 69. Nice at this point as we go down towards turns 1 here, and now we will take over the second position right behind the 88 of Combat as I had maybe an opportunity to maybe slip up the inside of him there, but I wasn't trying to be too aggressive because keep in mind stage 3 or the race in general ends when we hit lap 131, so still plenty of time to go here as we exit turns 4 on lap 71. The 88, the leader of Combat, gets into the grass. He got sideways. We come through to now take the lead here in Texas in this third and final stage. Can we get 3 wins in a row and punch our ticket into the next round of the playoffs? That would certainly be awesome, but we would end up getting a caution though on lap 73, so certainly too early to be thinking about getting that victory as we would obviously come to the pit lane for 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires. We come out though in P1 and keep the lead for the restart here as it was the 88 of Combat on my outside. He gets down into the inside behind me. The second row behind us did not get a good launch at all for some reason as we went down into turns 1 here. I think it was Andrew and Matt on that second row if I'm not mistaken as we exit turns 2 heading down this back straightaway. But just obviously trying to manage the lead, but sure enough on lap 76 down into turns 3, the 88 gets to my inside, and I didn't really want to fight too hard at this point because still quite a bit of racing to go here. I think this is like the longest third stage we got going here. And Nitro now is the 9 behind us. Andrew actually got into the outside wall on the exit of turns 4, and then we would actually keep fighting here with the 88 of Combat on the outside as we came through on lap 81, trying to put the pressure on him, pinch him down a little bit here as we come through the center of turns 3 and out of turns 4. But this was also allowing the 18 of Bryce to get back into the mix, the driver who won stage 1 and 2, and there you see our other teammate as well as the 20 of Matt, who's having a pretty good run here today in Texas as we come through turns 1, fighting once again back up the outside of the 88 of combat as we exit turns 2, heading down this back stretch. But now the 18 of Bryce, our teammate, right here in the mix. He's going to go to the inside. We always can rely on him for content, and he's going to make it 3 wide for the lead as we nearly come together there with the 88. We're still 3 wide for the lead as we exit turns 4. Great racing here up front in Texas. The 18 and the 88, they'll come together on the exit of turns 4, and now they kind of fade in the distance. It's myself and Matt here now running P1 and P2, and then Matt, he would obviously try to fight for the lead as well as we came through on lap 85. He sends it up the inside, but I did not want to give up this lead so easy. We come through out of turns 4, nearly making contact, and we would hang on to the lead as we came through on the exit of turns 4, and then he gets sideways or something. He goes through the grass as well as we went down towards turns 1, so now is the 88 once again of my inside, but we come through now on lap 93. Some drivers had started to make their pit stop, so I decided to stretch it out a little bit here, but this time by on lap 93 we would come in to make a green flag pit stop. Obviously, 4 tires, 2 cans of fuel, pretty straightforward. What we got to do, I played it very conservative. Coming into the pit lane, we had a 15.7 second pit stop. You can see behind me that obviously being conservative there allowed some drivers to close up what looks like a little bit there now as we come through out of turns 2. Didn't really know what the rule was to where I could come back up on the track, so I just decided to stay down on the apron the whole time as we come through on lap 100 now, hitting lap 101, which means 30 laps to go here in Texas, and we have a pretty comfortable lead at this point. We come through 10 laps later, 20 laps to go. We have over a 2-second lead now, as it seems like recently here in Nitro we've been able to take the lead in that 3rd stage and kind of run away with it, but now we were actually having to get ready for, once again, another set of green flag pit stops, which would also be our last set of green flag pit stops, at least as we come through now on lap 112. There you see Sean coming out of the pit lane as we went down this back straightaway. Some drivers that are already coming into the pit lane, obviously. Once again, I was trying to stretch it out a bit because tires are really important at a track like Texas, as well as I didn't want to have to worry about fuel. Now as we come through turns 4, I felt like I was even more conservative on this pit stop than the last one, but we get down to pit road speed. We exit with a 16.3 pit stop, 16.3 seconds. Wasn't a good one at all. And now you can see Karma or Matt in the 20 even closer now at this point because of just kind of our slow pit stop and my really being me being really conservative there coming into the pit lane. But we come through on lap 115, just over 15 laps to go in the 3rd and final stage here, and there was a little bit of pressure coming from behind there from the 20 of Matt at this point as we went down into turns 3, and there you see some lap traffic in the way. The 24 of Outbreak, who had some things go wrong from what I'm aware of, and that put him back here. Then you see the 95, of course, of Jay up in front of him as we go down this front stretch. But myself and Outbreak, we would be able to get past Jay as well as we came down towards turns 1, and then I was obviously trying to close in on the 24 of Outbreak. Only 10 to go at this point. We come to in lap 124, less than 10 laps to go. The 24 gets into the wall a little bit. We had actually stretched out the gap a little bit now to the 20 of Matt, and I obviously would like to get past the 24, so I took the opportunity right there to do that as I went down towards turns 1. So now we take that little moment away from him. I was going to say position away from him, but we didn't take anything away from him. We just put him a lap down. But as we went down towards turns 3, he would actually carry the momentum into the corner to get to my inside. I didn't feel like fighting him at all. Obviously, he was a lap car, so we come through out of turns 4, and I decided I was just going to let him go and then draft him here for the rest of this race, hoping, of course, that it would stay green here at this point, just begging nobody crash. And we come through to just 2 laps to go here in Texas, approaching the white flag, just trying to make it to the line right here as we exit turns 4. We won the last 2 races, and now we come through to cross the line. It was Martinsville we won, then the Charlotte Roval, and now as we start the final lap here in Texas, looking for 3 wins in a row, and I believe win number 7 on the season. I've never won this many races in a season, at least in the NASCAR side of league racing, but here we are heading down this back straightaway for the final time, looking for win 3 in a row as we come through turns 3 and turns 4 in this first race of the round of 8 in the Nitro playoffs. As we exit turns 4, we're going to go through to punch our ticket into the round of 6 of the playoffs with our 3rd straight win here at Texas Motor Speedway. Now, great result for us here in the JGR campus. It would be Matt coming through as well to finish in 2nd, so very good for him as well now. So very happy with how that went. Obviously, couldn't have gone any better, or maybe it could have. We could have finished first in stage 1 and stage 2, but obviously Bryce was able to get the stage victories. But either way, great performance all around for us. These last 3 weeks we've just been on fire, it seems like. Now as we get ready to do our burnout. But yeah, hopefully this will set us up well. In the next race, we actually go to Iowa, so that's going to be very interesting. Obviously now, we don't got to worry about running well. We can just go into Iowa and just do whatever we want, and hopefully that will actually be winning, though, now as we get ready to show you guys here the updated playoff grid. You saw the playoff grid coming into this race. We were like 39 points to the good to start this round of the playoffs, and obviously now we are locked in on points. But there you see, we would be 54 points to the good or so without the victory, so we'd probably be like 53 if we finish second. But it's Andrew in second still, 33 to the good, and then you see Christian down there in P6, the last car in, 15 to the good. Snakebite, RJ I should say, 15 out, and then Jay, 23 out. So that would do it, though, for this episode of the Nitro Racing League. A great race for us. Career mode will be coming up next, so thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.